All right, guys, Mr. Pascas here. Today we are having a blast. We're going to do equations, solving equations, but our variable is going to be on both sides. This is the big boy and girl mathematics right here. This is the stuff that legends are told of. We're just going to dive right in, okay? So I need you guys to write these down on your notebook, okay? Also, in the very bottom, I'm going to write down our 5 steps, okay? I kind of condensed it for less writing. But also, I need you guys to write this down. Distribute, combine like terms, get your variable to one side, move your constant, move your coefficient, the check, which is going to be optional, okay? That's going to be a 5 steps, technically 4, I'm going to take to solve these equations, okay? So, here we go. Number 1, I'm going to distribute, combine like terms. Okay, memorize my steps. Distribute. First, I'm going to draw my little red line here. There's no parentheses, so I can skip step 1. Awesome. Combine like terms. Well, let's see here. On the left side, I have a variable, no variable. I cannot combine those. On the right side, also, I can't combine anything. Next is get my variable on one side. Okay, I can do that. Now I can either move this one to the right or that one to the left. It doesn't matter. I'm going to choose to move this one to the left. This is a positive 3x, so I do minus 3x. That cancels out. 4 equals 6 minus 3 is 3. Don't forget the variable. And I bring down this minus 8. There we go. Now, I got my variable to one side. I'm now in the 2-step range where I move my constant, move my coefficient. Well, my constant is going to be this negative 8 not attached to a variable. So I do plus 8, once to each side. 4 plus 8, 12. Can bring down my 3x. And those guys canceled out. Last thing, got my coefficient here. This means 3 times x. The opposite of times is divide. I divide by whatever that coefficient is, which in this case, 3. 12 divided by 3 is 4. My 3's canceled. And there we go. For the sake of time, I'm not going to check my work today. I'm just that much of a baller. I don't know if you heard that, but I brushed my shoulders off. Jumping into number 2. Number 1 said distribute. Got no parentheses. I can skip it. Next is combine like terms. Well, let me get my left and my right side here. On my left side, there are nothing to combine. Variable, no variable, skip it. On the right side, I can. I got 3 terms here. This term has a variable, and this term has a variable. I can combine these guys, right? So when you combine them, you just kind of add them together. I got negative 2 plus 6. That's going to give me a 4x. I can bring down my minus 7, and I bring down actually the entire rest of the problem because I do 1 step at a time. Step 3 says get your variable on one side. Well, I can move 8x to the right or 4x to the left. It doesn't matter. I'm always a fan of moving the smaller one, but that's just me. So I'm going to do this 4x is positive. So I'm going to do negative. It cancels out. 8 minus 4 is 4. Bring down this minus 7. Bring down that minus 7. And here we go. I'm at my 2-step range now. Move my constant. Well, in this case, it's going to be this number. It's a minus 7, so I do plus 7. Boom. Cancels out. I can bring my 4x down. Negative 7 plus 7 is 0. Don't be alarmed. It's okay. You can have 0 as an answer. Or not as an answer, part of your problem. Who knows? It might be part of my answer. Who knows? Last thing, move my coefficient. It's 4 times x, so I divide by the coefficient. X equals 0 divided by anything is 0. So it looks like 0 is my answer. And look at that. Fancy schmancy. It's fun. I'm sorry, I'm having a great time over here. All right, now let's dive into the even more fun problems. And again, here are my rules, okay? I'll have these present for these ones. And remember, these look large, they look scary. Have no fear, mathematics is here. I should make a t-shirt. Honestly, that should be a t-shirt. I'm sure you guys would all want to buy that, but whatever. Here we go. Distribute. Well, distribute's fancy multiplication. I draw my little rainbows here. Well, 6 times 4, that's going ahead and give me 24. Don't forget the x. 6 times 3, and they're both positive, so positive 18 equals. I can bring down everything else because I do 1 step at a time. Also, shame, I should keep my little line there. Now I'm gonna combine like terms. Well, on the left side, I got nothing to combine. Has a variable, no variable. The right side looks pretty interesting. I have two terms that have no variable. So I can combine those together, right? So here we go. I can bring down my negative 2x. Negative 10 plus 2. You can double check my work in a calculator. That'll be a negative 8 or minus 8. I bring down this side. Keep it as is because I didn't change anything. And I'm off to the races. Here we go. And now I get my variable on one side. Well, I can move 24 to the right or this negative 2 to the left. I'm going to move this one. So it's a negative 2x. I'm going to do a positive 2x. Draw my line. 24 plus 2x, that's a 26x. Bring down my plus 18. Those canceled. Bring down my negative 8. Oh, I'm flying. Now, move my constant first, right? Constant first, coefficient second. I'm in two-step territory here. So it's a plus 18. I do minus 18. Now, those cancel. I can bring down my 26x. I got a negative 8 minus 18. Give me a negative 26. Divide both sides by this coefficient, this last number by the x here. Divides out. Negative 26 divided by 26, that'll give me a negative 1. This is so much fun. This is so much fun.
Okay, last problem because Mr. Poskis messed up on his. First, you always want to draw your equal bar going down your equal sign. And again, only equal signs allowed on this bar. So we have 5 parentheses, x minus 2, close up that parentheses, minus 1. Mr. Poskis forgot his minus 1. Equals negative 3 parentheses, x minus 1 plus 2x. So here we go. We got some distributing to do, so let's do that. And we can double dose. We can do 5. So 5 times x is 5x. 5 times negative 2 is negative 10. Drop down that negative 1. Equal sign. Then you can also distribute that negative 3 at the same time because they are different parentheses that we are dealing with. So it's okay to double dose. So negative 3 times x is a negative 3x. Negative 3 times negative 1 is a plus 3. Negative 3 times 2x becomes a minus 6x. Okay, lovely. So now we're looking at this line. Do we have any like terms to combine? We sure do. Let's look. So here we got 5 minus 10 minus 1. We got 2 constants on that same side. So I'm going to pull those guys together. This gives me 5x minus 11. Same side, same sign. Equal sign on that equal bar. Looking at the other side here, we have 2 coefficients. So I have to do negative 3x minus 6x. Don't forget the sign. This gives you negative 9x. The plus 3 drops down because it's a constant. It is not the same as a coefficient. Now, my variable is not on one side, so I need to move one of these guys. I'm going to move the negative 9x, and I'm going to add that 9x on both sides. This leaves me with the 9x here being eliminated. 5x plus 9x is 14x. Everything else was not messed with, so we can drop it down. Okay, now I'm down to a 2-step equation. You guys should be able to do this from here. Okay, so add that 11, it's the constant. So this gives you 14x equals 14. Divide away the coefficient 14 on both sides. This gives you x equals 1. Boom goes the dynamite. Mr. Poskis, shame, shame. Make sure you shame him in class.